Alright, if we ever get a aquarium pack, what would you guys like to see from a aquarium pack? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys would like to see from a aquarium pack. And yes, I'm very pleased with myself because I finally had a question that relates to the video. Because today we're also building an aquarium with dolphins and sea turtles, because you can't really build an aquarium without adding dolphins and turtles. And the whole reason that we're building an aquarium is because I wanted to. Anyways, hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade. I hope all of you are doing well today. Now before we actually get started with the video, don't forget to hit the like button because it does help out a lot when it comes to the video. And now let's see how much of a mess this video is going to be. So, did anyone of you guys ever make an entire voiceover talking about one thing, thinking that it was going to come to Planet Zoo, and then realizing they just announced something completely different? Yes, that's what basically happened to me. I made an entire voiceover talking about a South America animal pack because I thought that was going to be coming to Planet Zoo because they drew a capybara on stream, so I immediately thought, oh, we're going to get a South America animal pack, and I wished for a South America animal pack in that video of my wish list for things that I want to see come to Planet Zoo in 2022. So I was just like very pleased with myself there. And then they announced a wetlands pack. Although to be honest, I first thought that we were going to get a aquarium pack, hence why I was even more pleased that I was already building a aquarium because I thought I was ahead of things. And no. And the whole reason that I thought that we were going to get a aquarium pack was because half of the update notes, or around half of the update notes, were water-based. So the squirrel brain in me thought water-based update means water-based content being added, which in retrospect isn't wrong, but I was probably thinking a little bit too ambitiously when it came to a aquarium pack. But this does not mean that I'm mad about a wetlands pack, because we're still getting capybaras, we're getting platypuses. What's the multitude of platypus? I don't know, I'm probably also mispronouncing platypus incorrectly, because the only thing that is in my mind when I think of platypus is Perry the platypus. So if there's not like a cheat when it comes to the platypus of like inserting a name and it turns blue, or this sort of like greenish blue and it gets a little hat, then Frontier, I'm very disappointed in you. Because Perry is probably one of the most recognizable platypuses, which I'm completely butchering the name of, but you know, there needs to be a cheat code that allows for you to turn your platypus into Perry. But we're also getting water buffaloes. I didn't read further into the announcement, so I only know those 3 animals, because again, I am kind of rushing. Because I made an entire voiceover talking about a South America animal pack. Then after editing that voiceover, found out, oh, there's this notification that Planet Zoo tweeted something. God damn it, Planet Zoo. And I'm not really rushing. I just like to have my videos done at a certain point so that I can go to sleep peacefully knowing that my video is done. And now I don't really have that. Well, I can still have that, but I need to be kind of quick about it. But yeah, there's a certain boundary or like a level of chaos that I think is acceptable. Me talking for like 20 minutes about a pack that's actually not coming, even though I think in that voiceover it was coming, is kind of a little bit too much chaos, even for me. So yeah, that's why I'm redoing this entire voiceover, just because, god damn it, Planet Zoo. I thought we were going to get a South America animal pack, although I don't think anyone was really expecting a wetlands pack. I think a lot of people were thinking South America animal pack, but you know, Planet Zoo surprises us sometimes. But anyways, let's talk about the wetlands pack then. One thing actually stays the same, and that's how I'm going to approach the pack, which is kind of how I'm going to or have approached the Europe pack, which is I will pick a animal from the pack and build an entire habitat based solely on information I found online. So animal welfare sites, animal conservation sites, and nature sites and such, and build a habitat completely based off of that, basing it completely off of the real life animal and their real life needs, and then seeing after I get access to the animal how the animal, or like the Planet Zoo version, stacks up to the real life version. When it came to the badger, it worked out really well. I made the stupid mistake to think that, oh, it's a badger. it's probably going to be completely carnivorous, or at least mostly like a meat eater. And the European badger is not mostly a meat eater, so all of the enrichment items were wrong. But all of the other things, when it came to like the size of the habitat and such, was actually completely correct. And I really like doing that, like not having my hand held by the game, because it's so easy for me to, like, if I build, let's say, this aquarium, because the mods have gone so good that every mod now has a full superior, but it becomes very easy to have your hand held, or at least for me to have my hand held and just look at the superior and find out like, oh, this animal needs that, that, and that. And then it for me becomes just a bit too easy. I want to like do my own research and find out like, oh, you know, this little tidbit isn't included in the superior, but I want to add it. So I want to do the same thing with the wetlands pack, where I pick one animal. I'm not going to say, of course, which animal, because I want that to be a surprise, but I'm going to pick one animal and just build a habitat for them without actually having access to that animal. Because to me, I just like that challenge. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm very happy in a way also with the wetlands pack compared to a South America animal pack, because I don't have to start a South America section now. Maybe, but a lot of the animals are, of course, somewhat aquatic based, like they're somewhat like semi-aquatic. And so I can expand Lakeside, which I wasn't planning to do, because for me Lakeside is almost finished, but I can expand Lakeside. I don't have to add like a really new section. And I was going to conclude Lakeside with like a crocodile habitat or a chomp habitat, because I never get the difference between a crocodile and an alligator, and people are not happy about that. But I will just continuously name the chomps, because you can't be wrong with the name if you don't actually use the name, or any of the possible names. But yeah, I can expand Lakeside now, although I do want to build like an entire new section for the new wetlands animals, but Lakeside still fits in with like the wetlands. Happy about one thing, not so happy about the other things, because I wanted like my moment of like, hey, I hoped or wished for a South America animal pack in spring. We're possibly getting a South America animal pack in spring. No, we're getting a wetlands pack. I was very much like that previous voiceover was me just ego tripping basically, which probably is a good thing that that's not going to ever be heard. But anyways, let's talk about the actual thing that we're building today, which is a aquarium, of course. Yeah, this is actually built on the site of the original lemur habitat, which I'm just going to say it completely honestly right now, I hated that lemur habitat. I know that probably a lot of you guys are like, oh, that lemur habitat wasn't bad, was good. I don't think so. Because for me, the lemur habitat was so much built as just like a one-off build, and it never really fit in with the rest of Eve Zoo. I've already mentioned this previously, but the lemur habitat was an experiment. It was really just me looking at like, hey, do people want to see me building a somewhat realistic, as if Eve Zoo is realistic, but a somewhat realistic, like a little drizzle of realistic, modern zoo. People seem to be very into it, and so then I built a zoo surrounding what was basically an experiment. And, you know, when it comes to a one-off build, they are meant to stand out. They are meant to really like, you know, that they need to just, as I said, stand out. But when it came to the lemur habitat, for me, it began to stand out for all of the wrong reasons. Like, I loved the building of the lemur habitat, like the off-site building, but the actual island itself, oh boy, I hated that, because the foliage was all wrong, and the climbing structure all wrong. So it was just like, again, I might have just very high standards when it comes to my builds, but I really, really disliked the lemur habitat. So to then give myself the opportunity to rip out the lemur habitat, which actually went wrong the first time, because every time or most times that I built a round structure, you know, I have the center point from like that mud brick pillar, and I always, or most of the times, keep that mud brick pillar. However, when it came to the first time that I removed the lemur habitat, I accidentally deleted that center point. So I had to reload and rip out the lemur habitat again. So the lemur habitat has been ripped out twice. And after that, there's still kind of the issue with like the staff area to the side, because that was first obscured by the offsite building for the lemurs. Now it's exposed, so I need to think about how to fix that. But I'm so much happier with this aquarium. And yes, it's an aquarium out of nowhere. Like there's no aquarium surrounding it, although I am thinking of like a smaller sort of exhibit aquarium, kind of like just a pond with like sea stars and seahorses, like the smaller animals. Of course, not really having those smaller animals, but just having that illusion of like the smaller, just sort of exhibit aquarium. And right next to it, I am thinking of doing that. But to me, even though the dolphin and turtle habitat is like, it's completely out of nowhere, there's no lead up to this aquarium, it still to me fits in more, especially with like the surrounding structure, because the surrounding structure for the lemur habitat was like these tiered planters, and it kind of just was like, yeah, it looked pretty, but the lemur habitat didn't really add to it. When it comes to this aquarium, I kind of like the idea that the tiered structure surrounding the aquarium used to be like the stands for like a dolphin show, but then as time went on, they stopped doing the dolphin shows, but they kept the structure surrounding it, and so the stands eventually turned into planters. It just, to me, the aquarium just fits in better, and I had also just a lot more creativity when it came to the aquarium, and I added this little side section with the beach because I wanted the opportunity for the sea turtles to actually have an area to like lay their eggs, because we've all seen those videos of the baby turtles scurrying towards the sea and nature being cruel and most of them being picked off by birds, mostly seagulls. Nature is cruel. Those cute little things, and then they get eaten by everything else. But yeah, I wanted to have that, and I also just wanted to have like an extra road to the like other sections of Eve Zoo. So this aquarium was just all like hitting all of the right boxes for me. When it comes to just the animals in them, all of them are mods. Like the dolphins and the turtles are modded animals. However, the mods have gotten so good over time that like, yes, there's some funky bits. Like, well, funky bits. I actually like the funky bit when it comes to the sea turtles, because they kind of hop when they are on land. They don't really slide or like, you know, they just hop a bit like bunnies. Well, not like bunnies, but they just like, you know, when you have like a ball and you like throw it on the ground and it just like bounces. I pushed my chair back so that I didn't hit my mic, and now I hit my mic. When you throw a ball and it just bounces, that's kind of what the turtles do, and it's adorable. So it's not really that noticeable that it's immersion breaking, but it's just noticeable enough that I looked at it and it was just like, this is, you know, the turtles shouldn't hop, but it's adorable, and I like that they actually hop. Because of course, the dolphins and the turtles are based off of other animals, so they have like the animations for other animals, I think, or like just the rigging or something. I don't know about anything when it comes to like modding and such. So Leaf is probably just like face palming so badly right now. Like he is just like smashing his head into his desk of just like, poison, you idiot. But hey, did anyone expect me not to be an idiot? I think I've solidified my reputation as being the idiot of the Planet Zoo community. Well, not really idiot, mostly just the chaotic squirrel of the Planet Zoo community. So anyway, going back to the aquarium, I really like how it turned out. With all of the everything is, or almost everything is circular. I made a shelter area with like a sort of water pump building. I didn't actually build the water pump. I just built a pipe going into a building with a door, just because I wasn't feeling up to building an actual water pump, even though that was actually in the plans for Lakeside, to build like an entire like water pump or water like filter area to like, you know, clean up the lake. I kind of like the idea that like the lake was polluted, and then Eve Zoo came in and they, you know, tried to clean up the entire lake, because, you know, marketing. If they can say, oh, we cleaned up the entire lake and it's now all pretty and filled with animals, that's can be very easily turned into marketing. Eve Zoo is like, it's very like, you know, ecologically minded, like, you know, sustainability and such, but oh, the marketing for Eve Zoo is probably just like really also just cashing in on all of that. Eve Zoo, I just kind of always think of it as like, you know, on the surface, everything looks fine, like how they market themselves and everything is like very sustainable, ecological. But then behind every decision is just money. I kind of like that idea. Although maybe Eve Zoo has changed over time. I don't know. Eve Zoo is just, it's storyline wise, it doesn't really have a story actually. I just like to imagine like some kind of evil corporation behind Eve Zoo trying to clean up their reputation by having. Anyways, going back to the Wetlands pack. So when it comes to a Wetlands pack, I already said I'm probably going to do what I did with the Europe pack, where I made a habitat without actually having access to the animals. I'm very interested now in looking up the rest of like the animal roster for the Wetlands pack, because again, I haven't looked at the entire announcement. I haven't seen the video of like the announcement video, so I have no idea beyond the water buffalo and the platypus and the capybara what other animals are in the Wetlands pack. I'm very interested in that, and let's hope that with the next announcement I haven't already pre-recorded a video talking about something completely different, because there's only so much chaos I can take, even though my entire channel is kind of based on chaos. And I call myself a chaotic squirrel, so you would think that I would be able to handle more chaos, but no. Anyway, this video is kind of all over the place, just like all of the other videos. I don't know why I keep mentioning it. Maybe because every video I kind of think like, oh, it's going to be a calm video. No, it's not. But yeah, when it came to this aquarium, I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I tried building my own like coral reef. I first had one that I downloaded from the workshop, but then I thought, no, I want to build it myself, so I deleted all of the corals that I downloaded from the workshop and built my own. And then when it came to like the little turtle beach, I don't know where that idea came from. I just had it and then it was there. And I'm very happy to have also finally finished this habitat, because this is just something that I do occasionally with builds, where I start building it with like the utmost levels of inspiration. And then as soon as I stop to like grab lunch or go to sleep, I completely lose all inspiration and that build just sits there for like 3 weeks. I think this aquarium has been sitting there for 2 weeks now. I start building it on stream and then I kind of left it and built a hedgehog habitat. And you might think like, oh, you know, you eventually always get back to them. Yeah, there's still a build sitting in Eve Zoo that has been there for 3 months and I haven't finished it. It's a big ass build though, so I kind of give myself the excuse of like, oh, it's so huge that like, you know, you need just like the highest level of inspiration to finish it. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Again, I need to say that all of these animals, the dolphins and the sea turtles, are mods. I am very excited for the Wetlands pack, very excited especially for the platypuses and the capybaras, not so much the water buffaloes, and I don't know the other animals because again, this voiceover is a little bit rushed because fuck me, I guess. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, then there is the like button. It helps out a lot with the video. If you want to see more, there's the subscribe button. And there's also the notification button, but that one is just as broken as my brain after the announcement of the Wetlands pack. So anyways, have a wonderful day guys. Bye bye.